Deutsche Bank opens review into personal banker to Trump and Kushner. We can't rely on Deutsche Bank to do this. This should be investigated by Congress immediately. Demand a broad range of evidence. Oh good, I'm really glad Deutsche Bank is taking on the responsibility of policing Deutsche Bank, and I have every confidence that Deutsche Bank will come to a quick, decisive, and fair decision on how to properly penalize Deutsche Bank. They are doing this because they know they are going to be investigated for real when Trump loses. Deutsche is a criminal racket and should be dechartered and subject to prosecution in the US rather than being permitted to investigate themselves. Shout out to ProPublica's excellent Trump Incorporated Series 4 shining some light on Deutsche Bank's Rosemary Vrablic and her relationship to the Trumps and the Kushners. https://www. Onyx Studios. org/podcast/Trumpin/episode/Trump Inc. CMBS Deutsche. In June 2013, the banker, Rosemary Vrablic, and two of her Deutsche Bank colleagues purchased a Park Avenue apartment for about $1.5 million from a company called Bergel 715 Associates, according to New York property records. Mr. Kushner, a senior advisor to the president, disclosed in an annual personal financial report late Friday that he and his wife, Ivanka Trump, had received $1 million to $5 million last year from Bergel 715. Vrablic is the nexus of Trump's most inexplicable loans from Deutsche Bank. https://www. New York Times. com/2019/03/18/business/Trump Deutsche Bank, HTML. Without her there wasn't a bank in the Western world that would loan significant money to him. A bribe, like a residence purchased at below market value, would explain a hell of a lot. *edit*** for what it's worth, the property listed for $1.7 million at the time. https://www. Zillow. com/home details/715 Park Ave App 12A New York 10021/3153536 so at $1.5 million she got it at an atypically large 12% lower than list, and that listing was justified when she sold it 2 years later, the time at which capital gains duty drops to zero, for $1.8 million. This proves nothing, but there are other ways a transaction like this could have been used to launder a payment to her. Article, https://outline. com/nk5do6, https://outline. com/nk5do6. Deutsche Bank has opened an internal investigation into the longtime personal banker of President Trump and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, over a 2013 real estate transaction between the banker and a company part-owned by Mr. Kushner. In June 2013, the banker, Rosemary Vrablic, and two of her Deutsche Bank colleagues purchased a Park Avenue apartment for about $1.5 million from a company called Bergel 715 Associates, according to New York property records. https://836-acres. NYC. gov/ds/document search/document detail, doc_ID equals 20130626014370001. Mr. Kushner, a senior advisor to the president, disclosed in an annual personal financial report late Friday that he and his wife, Ivanka Trump, had received $1 million to $5 million last year from Bergel 715. A person familiar with Mr. Kushner's finances, who wasn't authorized to speak publicly, said he held an ownership stake in the entity at the time of the transaction with Ms. Vrablic. When Ms. Vrablic and her colleagues bought the apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side, Mr. Trump and Mr. Kushner were her clients at Deutsche Bank. https://www. New York Times. com/2020/02/04/magazine/Deutsche Bank Trump. HTML. They had received roughly $190 million in loans from the bank and would seek hundreds of millions of dollars more. Typically, banks restrict employees from doing personal business with clients because of the potential for conflicts between the employees' interests and those of the bank. Deutsche Bank said it had not been aware that Ms. Verblick and her colleagues had done business with a company part-owned by Mr. Kushner until being contacted by the New York Times. The bank will closely examine the information that came to light on Friday and the fact pattern from 2013, said Daniel Hunter, a bank spokesman. A lawyer for Ms. Verblick, a senior private banker and managing director at Deutsche Bank, declined to comment. The White House referred questions to the Kushner family's real estate company. Christopher Smith, the general counsel at Kushner Companies, said, "Kushner is not the managing partner of that entity and has no involvement with the sales of the apartments." Ms. Verblick bought the apartment, in a brick building at 715 Park Avenue with Dominic Scalzi and Matthew Pontoriero. They worked for Ms. Verblick in Deutsche Bank's private banking division, which caters to wealthy clients. Mr. Scalzi and Mr. Pontoriero didn't respond to requests for comment on Sunday. The size of Mr. Kushner's stake in Bergel 715 is unclear. The company has sold dozens of condo units in the Park Avenue building since the 1980s, according to public records. At least one apartment was sold to the Kushner family's real estate company. Mr. Kushner and Ms. Trump had not previously disclosed their stake in Bergel 715. They did list the entity used to make the investment in Bergel 715. The income they reported in 2019 wasn't related to the transaction with Ms. Verblick. Bergel 715's main owners include George Gellert, http://Gellert Global Group. com/holdings. PHP, ID equals Walter Samuels, a close friend of the Kushner family and an investor in numerous deals with Kushner companies. There is no indication that the three Deutsche Bank employees bought the apartment described on Zillow, https://www. Zillow.com/home details/715 Park Ave App 12A New York 10021/31535036036 as a 908 square foot, one bedroom, one bath unit with a balcony overlooking Park Avenue at a below market price. In 2014, the deed for the apartment, Unit 12A, was transferred, https://836-acres. NYC. gov/ds/document search/document detail, doc_ID equals 20131227006390001, to a limited liability company registered to Ms. Verblick's home address, according to property records. The next year, the apartment was sold, https://836-acres. NYC. gov/ds/document search/document detail, doc_ID equals 20151111001890001, for $1.85 million, a not unheard of 22% increase from the 2013 purchase price. Ms. Verblick has worked in the Deutsche Bank private banking division since 2006. She has a reputation as one of New York's leading private bankers, generating tens of millions of dollars of annual revenue for the bank. The Kushner family has been a client of Ms. Verblick since before she joined Deutsche Bank. In 2011, Mr. Kushner brought Ms. Verblick to meet his father-in-law. At the time, most mainstream banks refused to do business, https://www. New York Times. com/2019/03/18/business/Trump Deutsche Bank, HTML, with Mr. Trump because of his history of defaults and bankruptcies. I introduced him to this woman Rosemary, Mr. Kushner said in closed-door testimony, https://intelligence, house. gov/uploaded files/jk25. PDF, to the House Intelligence Committee in 2017. She is one of the biggest private wealth bankers, probably in the world. Amazing banker, amazing woman. Very smart banker. And she banked my family for a long time. Ms. Verblick and her superiors soon agreed to take Mr. Trump on as a client, even though he had defaulted on a loan from the bank 3 years earlier. In 2012, Deutsche Bank lent Mr. Trump a total of about $175 million for his newly acquired Doral Golf Resort outside Miami and for his Trump International Hotel and Tower in Chicago. Mr. Trump soon came back for more. In 2014 he sought a $1 billion commitment from Ms. Verblick to buy the Buffalo Bills football team. Mr. Trump's bid was rejected, making the loan unnecessary. The bank agreed to lend Mr. Trump's company $170 million for its transformation of the old post office building into the Trump International Hotel in Washington. And Mr. Kushner and his mother received a $15 million personal line of credit from Ms. Verblick's division, the largest credit line to which Mr. Kushner or his parents had access, according to financial records, https://www. New York Times. com/2018/10/13/business/Jared Kushner taxes. HTML, reviewed by The Times. Ms. Verblick was thrust into the spotlight when Mr. Trump posted to The Times, https://www. New York Times. com/2016/05/24/business/dealbook/Donald Trump relationship bankers. HTML, in 2016 about his strong relationship with Deutsche Bank and inflated Ms. Verblick's role at the bank. Why don't you call the head of Deutsche Bank? Her name is Rosemary Verblick, he said in the interview. She is the boss.